Today I was going to talk about tremors and a Chinese medicine substance called Chan Tui. And I'll talk a little bit about the tremors first. And that's just a lot of people have essential, what we call essential tremors. There's different types of tremors. And what I was going to talk about today was specifically essential tremors. And essential tremors are the type of tremors that are typically associated when you are maybe otherwise healthy, don't necessarily have any other neurologic disorders. And it tends to be a shaking or slight tremor that happens when you are trying to use your hands or your body to do something specific. So, example, if you're trying to intentionally go and lift up a pen to and write something with a pen, you can have more shaking in the hands. And that's different. Most of the time we're familiar with tremors neurologically from something called Parkinson's disease, where you have tremors at rest. But that's different from essential tremors, where you can just have shaking without necessarily any other definable neurologic problem. And the tremors can happen. It tends to happen, like I said, when you're doing more focused activity, when you're doing something intentional. It doesn't happen the tremors tend to go away when you're at rest. That's more likely to be an essential tremor. It can get worse with stress. It can get worse with caffeine, alcohol. Sometimes it can be caused by those things, by other drugs too. There's not a real clear answer as to why this happens in Western medicine. It's thought it may be related to abnormal electrical activity in the brain, but it's not something that's really clearly known. In Chinese medicine, interestingly enough, tremors are thought to be associated with the liver organ. And it's especially thought to happen when the liver has too much energy, and especially too much yang energy. The liver is a organ in Chinese medicine that's responsible for kind of spreading and regulating the energy of the body so that it flows smoothly. Now, what can happen when things go wrong with the liver is, instead of spreading the energy smoothly, it can kind of congregate up, become obstructed and rise up. And when that happens, it can cause tremors, and it can cause a lot of other things like dizziness or um, bouts of emotional outbursts, those kinds of things. But specifically, it can also be associated with essential tremors. And so one of the substances we have in Chinese medicine, I'm not going to call it an herb because it's actually a it's from an insect. It's called chan tui, and these are the exfoliations from the cicada insects. And this substance, chan tui, it's considered a cooler type of substance, and it when you ingest it, it acts on the liver, and it acts to help reduce the heat in the liver, and it acts to help get rid of some of that wind that is generated the liver, um, from the liver excess rising and causing the tremors. And so it's a really interesting substance, and it actually also acts on the lung. So it works on two different organs, both the lung and the liver, and it can be used for disorders of the lung. It can be used for rashes, and so it has a lot of unique properties to it, and we do use it in Chinese medicine. And so that's one example. And usually, again, it's used in combination with other herbs in formulas. It's not something that you want to just take a whole bunch of on your own over the counter, if you can even find it over the counter. But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about today. Essential tremors and Chan Tui. We'll see you next time.